Jane Eyre at Lowood Institution. The story so far. With my sister and her husband dead, we must look after their children. Promise me to raise Jane Eyre as one of our own children. So, in the story, it starts with a conversation of a husband and wife. There is a man who is speaking to his wife that because my sister is dead and her husband is dead, we must look after their child. And who was that child? That child was Jane Eyre. Now, unfortunately, that man was also dying, and he was asking for his wife to give him a promise. What was that promise? He asked his wife to promise that she will raise Jane as one of her own children, and that wife promised that she will. Jane was mistreated by her callous aunt, Mrs. Reed. She was excluded from every enjoyment in the family. Callous means insensitive. Okay, so that lady promised, okay, Mrs. Reed was her name. She promised her husband that she will raise Jane as one of her own child, but she never did that. She always mistreated Jane, and Jane was always excluded from every enjoyment, from every occasion, whether it's a festival or something. She was always excluded from the family. One day, Mrs. Reed decides to send Jane to Lowood Institution. It was a charity school run by Mr. Brocklehurst. One day, Mrs. Reed decides to send Jane to Lowood Institution. That was a school which was run by Mr. Brocklehurst, and it was a charity school which was, basically a donation school. So here it is. This is the girl. Mrs. Reed introduced Jane to Mr. Brocklehurst, and she says that this is the girl. Mr. Brocklehurst asked her that how old is she, and she replied that she is 10 years old. Okay. Mr. Brocklehurst again asked a question that are you a good girl? But Mr. Brocklehurst was asking this question to Jane, but this lady, Mrs. Reed, did not let Jane reply. Instead, he interfered in the conversation, and she said, the less say about that, the better. I couldn't have found a school more suitable for Jane. This was the lines by Mrs. Reed. Indeed, ma'am. Indeed means surely, madam. Jane has a tendency. Tendency means you can consider here's tendency as a habit. Jane has a tendency to deceive. She must be closely watched. I wish her to be brought up modestly at the Lowood School. Now, Mrs. Reed tells Mr. Brocklehurst that Jane has a habit. She was degrading the image of Jane in front of Mr. Brocklehurst. She was degrading the image. Okay. She was portraying a negative image of Jane in front of Mr. Brocklehurst. So she said that she has a habit to lie in every little thing. So she must be closely watched by everybody. She will be brought up just as you ask. Mr. Brocklehurst said that whatever you will say, it will be followed. Okay. Come to the next page. One day, Mr. Brocklehurst visits Lowood School. Oh, why is he here? So one day, Mr. Brocklehurst came for the normal round in the Lowood Institution, and suddenly everybody was fearful. Everybody was shocked that why he is here. Jane dreaded this moment and in fear dropped her slate. Jane was so fearful. So dreaded means fearsome or fearful. So Jane was frightened at this moment, and in that fear she by mistake dropped her slate, which was broken. How careless and this Mr. Brocklehurst started to shout. He said that, how careless, come to the front, I have to say something about you. And he said that, come in front of everybody, I have to say something about you. And here Mr. Brocklehurst makes an announcement about Jane. She looks like an ordinary child, but that's not true. How shocking, gosh. And he says to everybody that she looks like a normal and an innocent child, but actually she's not like that. And everybody was shocked at that moment. Gosh, G-O-S-H is a expression. Okay, gosh is an expression to use surprise. Okay. Everyone avoid her. Teachers watch her. Her kind aunt told me that she's ungrateful and tells lie. No one is to talk to her for rest of the day. So it was basically a kind of punishment for Jane, that she dropped her slate. Okay, and he told everybody that everybody will avoid her, teachers will have a good look on her, and he just made that announcement that her kind aunt told me that she has a habit to tell lie in every little thing. So he gave the punishment to Jane that nobody will talk to Jane for rest of the day. Okay, so let us find out how Jane endures this accusation. Accusation means charge in the boarding school. So this was the story by far, okay, whatever we have read now. Now we will see how Jane bears this charge, how Jane handles this situation in this boarding school. But before that, let's have a brief introduction of the writer. Charlotte Bronte is the eldest of the Bronte sisters, worked as a teacher and governess before collaborating on a book of poetry with her two other sisters. So students, these three sisters are very famous, very famous. First one is Charlotte Bronte, she is the eldest one, okay. Then Emily Bronte and Annie Bronte. These three sisters are very famous in English literature, okay, and who were writer as well, and they were teacher also, and also they worked as a governor. So okay, let's start the story. The story is very interesting, very interesting. Ere the half hour ended, 5 o'clock struck. School was dismissed, and all were gone into the refectory to tea. So school was dismissed means school was over, okay. ERE means before. School was over and everybody was gone into the refectory to tea. Refectory is basically a room where you have your tea and food, okay. Basically it's in the hostel or schools where meals are served. Usually people call it as mess, कि mess में खाना खाने जा रहे हैं, okay. So mess is also called that refectory to refectory. It was deep dusk. I retired into a corner and sat down on the floor. So it was deep dusk. It was a kind of nightfall, and she was sitting on the floor. This Jane Eyre was sitting on the floor. The spell by which I had been so far supported began to dissolve. Reaction took place, and soon so overwhelming was the grief that seized me that I sank prostrate with my face to the ground. Now I wept. Okay, so here we can see that the girl Jane is very depressed, very disappointed. Okay, she was crying, she was sobbing. Okay, students, here also you can see in a bracket some word meanings are given that you have to write in your fair copies. Okay, so the spell by which I had been so far supported began to dissolve. Reaction took place, and soon so overwhelming was the grief that seized me that I sank prostrate with my face to the ground. Now I wept. Helen Burns was not here. Nothing sustained me. I left to myself. I abandoned myself, and my tears watered the boards. So in the first paragraph, this girl Jane Eyre is very depressed. She's crying. She's lying on her stomach on the floor. She is all alone. Nobody is there with her. Her only friend Helen Burns was also not there. She was all alone and she abandoned herself. She just gave up on herself. She had nobody to support her. I had meant to be so good and to do so much at Lowood, to make so many friends, to earn respect and win affection. So here you can see that Helen Bourne, okay, she's the speaker and she's the listener. She's only talking to herself, okay. She's talking to herself and she said that I had meant to be so good. She was so disappointed with herself that she tried to do so much. She tried to win the respect, she tried to make so many friends, okay, she tried to win affection, means love, but nothing worked. Already I had made a visible progress that very morning. I had reached the head of my class. Miss Miller had praised me warmly. Miss Temple had smiled appreciatively. Okay, so she said that already I had made a visible progress, means already I had made a step that very morning. She reached the head of her class, Miss Myler. Okay, Miss Myler had praised her and Miss Temple had smiled at her, and Miss Temple also promised to teach her drawing, and she also allowed her to learn French. I was also well received by my fellow pupils and treated as an equal by those of my own age. Now here I lay again, crushed and trodden on. Could I ever rise more? Now this girl was very broken and she was just thinking that all these things, all these efforts which I made was now useless, because just now people started to treat her well, and now again she was lying there crushed, broken, alone. Okay, trodden means press the foot or put down something. So she thought that everybody is putting her down, and she asked herself that could I ever rise more? Okay, never I thought and ardently wished to die. While I was sobbing, someone approached and I started up. She was still thinking. She thought that never in her life she felt so useless, and she never had so much wish to die. She never had a passionate, ardently means passionate manner. So never in her life she wished to die like this. While she was sobbing, she was still crying, someone came to her. The fading fire showed Helen was coming up long vacant room. She had bought me my coffee and bread. So when she looked up, she saw that her only friend Helen Burns was approaching in the long empty room. And what did she bring for Jane? She had brought coffee and bread for Jane. Come eat something, she said, but I put both away, feeling as if a drop or a crumb would choke me. Okay, she bought coffee and bread for Jane, and she said that please come and eat something. But she put both the things, Jane put both coffee and bread away, and she was feeling like if she will have even a drop of coffee or crumb means piece of bread would choke her. Choke means strangle in the neck. Okay, sometimes you eat something and by mistake something you feel like strangle in your neck, so that's the choke. So she was not in a mood to have anything, she was not in a mood to eat anything. She was just feeling that even if she would have a drop of coffee, it would choke her neck. I continued to weep aloud, and she continued to cry in a loud manner. Helen sat down on the ground near me, embraced means in a manner of hug, to hug somebody, her knees with her arms, and rested her head upon them and said silently. I was the first to spoke. And now Helen was also sitting there. She was not saying anything. She was also silent. She embraced her knees with her arms. You can see here in which manner they are sitting. This is the posture of their sitting. Okay, and rested her head upon them. And both were silent. And Jane was the first one to spoke. Helen, why do you stay with a girl whom everybody believes to be a liar? And this little Jane, she was still very disappointed, and she asked a question to her friend Helen, that Helen, why do you stay, why do you be with a girl whom everybody believes to be a liar? And see what Helen replies. Everybody, Jane? Why? There are only 80 people who have heard you call so, and the word contains hundreds of millions. Now this answer was really very impressive answer. And Helen said that, is it true? Is everybody call you so? No, everybody don't. Everyone doesn't call you liar. Why? Because this hostel, this boarding school only contains 80 people, and the word contains 100 of million people. Means you are liar in front of only 80 people, but the word has a lot of people. But what have I to do with millions? The 80 I know despise me. And Jane continues her thing, and she says, but what do I have to do with the millions of people? The 80 people who know me, the 80 people whom I know, okay, they believe that I am a liar. They hate me. They don't like me. What do I have to do with the whole world? दुनिया से मतलब क्या लेना देना है? जो मुझे जानते हैं वो मुझे गलत समझते हैं. Jane, you are mistaken. Probably not. Probably means probably. Okay. Sambhavta. Probably not one in the school either despises or dislikes you. Many, I am sure, pity you much. And Helen says that, Jane, you are probably mistaken. No one in the school hates you or dislikes you, but I am very sure that people pity you. Means people feel sympathetic towards you. How can they pity me after what Mr. Brocklehurst has said? Now she asked a question again. Jane asked Helen that how can people pity me? How can people feel kind towards me after whatever Mr. Brockle has said about me? Mr. Brocklehurst is not even liked here. Had he treated you a special favorite, you would have found enemies, declared or covert, all around you. As it is, the greater number would offer you sympathy if they dared. Okay. Now, here Helen tries to make her understand that Mr. Brocklehurst was not even liked by the people in Lowood Institution, and if Mr. Brocklehurst would have treated Jane as his favorite, then people would consider her Jane as an enemy. Okay, but deep inside their heart they felt pity for Jane. Teachers and pupils may look coldly at you for one day or two, but friendly feelings are concealed in their hearts. Means people, teachers and students may look rude, may look cold for only 1 and 2 days, but there is a soft corner in their heart for Jane. And if you persevere in doing well, these feelings will ere long appear much more evidently, especially after their temporary suppression. Besides Jane, she paused. Suppressions means the action of forcefully stopping something. Okay, so basically Helen here tried to make her understand that everybody just felt pity for her. Nobody disliked her, nobody hated her. They just showed, because of Mr. Brocklehurst, they used to show that they did not like Helen, but they did not like Jane, but that was actually not true. So students, this story is quite long, and I think we should do it in the next video now. Okay, I don't want to make too long video and quite boring video, so we will do it in the next video, and I will also send homework question answers in the PDF format. So students, read this well, and we will meet up again in the next video of Jane Eyre at Lowood Institution. Till then, stay safe, take care.